going to do an insight video today, and I thought over the last couple of days, like I did one on yesterday on like reading and sort of using angel cards and how this connects to like intuition. So I thought I would do sort of like an insight series around sort of developing tools and using tools and how we can use them within our our reality, and how we can use the wisdom to try and sort of connect, align, unify with our source energy and start using it within our reality, within our lives. So the next part of the series, I thought we're going to talk about universal laws, and the universal laws are important sort of wisdom that's been given to us through the ages that we can use to try and sort of live within and use these principles to sort of like develop more spiritual awareness, understanding, using them in a way that we can start to use them as tools to live practically from our source, from our center, and then we can start to use them within our reality, within our lives. So like the first one is like the universal law of oneness, and oneness is source energy, and that all matter, all creation is connected and is linked through this one vibration, this one frequency. All things are created from source, and all things are born from source, and all things return to source. So when we understand that oneness, we also understand that oneness directly connects to the universal law of vibration and frequency as well. That through source energy, which is the creation and the manifestation of all reality, of all things and beings are all born from source. We know that we're all connected, and we all know we're connected from in this reality, but in all realities, because we're all born from the same source, which is the oneness vibration, that all things are connected, all things are part of the same vibration, the same frequency, and nothing is separate. Nothing is separate from that vibration, and all things are created from it, and all things vibrate within that one vibration of source energy. And when we start to understand that, then we know that we're interconnected. We're interconnected with the planet. We're interconnected with each other, and all reality is a vibration. It's a frequency. All things, all reality is an energy. And when we start to realize that, and that's why like the universal, when you start going down the universal laws, you start to realize that they all are born and manifested. The wisdom is from that one first vibration, that one first universal law, which is the oneness, because you start to see that all things are connected. Nothing is separate. So everything everything can be dissolved, everything can be released, everything can be created, everything can be changed within that one vibration. And that is a big shift in awareness. It's a big shift in understanding. When you start to use the universal laws, you start to realize that you feel like the universal law of correspondence, which is your center, which is your source energy, and it's sort of where you start to then, through meditation, and you start to sort of like have the awareness and the understanding that universal law of correspondence teaches you that within you is a source energy vibration, which is part of the oneness vibration, and is like part of the universal law of frequency. You start to realize that correspondence, that inner source energy that's within you, is what creates and manifests reality, and it's born from source energy, and it's connected to the oneness vibration. And you start to realize that you are the center. You're a seed of creation, and you are the center of your own reality. So that everything that's happening within your reality, within your life, can be changed, can be shifted through vibration and frequency, because it's only an energy. And then you start to realize that you can do things like use the universal law of attraction, and you start to realize the universal law of attraction is just a reflection of vibration and frequency that you create from your source energy, your center, which is the universal law of correspondence. You start to realize that the law of attraction works on the vibration, the frequency that you are expressing and creating from your source. And this is the universal law of oneness again. This is the universal law of frequency. This connects to the universal law of inspired action as well. The universal law of inspired action is the understanding that through your source energy and your center, and through the vibration and frequency, um, you can open up to access, like your higher self, your infinite self. And the universal law of inspired action works through source energy and source wisdom and source consciousness. And what happens is, when you start to understand that, when you open up your source energy to the oneness vibration, the wisdom, the information, the insight is all there through a collective consciousness, through the universal law of oneness. So when you open up your source energy, then you open up to receive the infinite flow of wisdom, insight, knowledge, of collective vision that comes from many sort of many sort of like places. It comes from many sort of like guides and beings. You've got the ascended masters, you've got the archangels. We've also got like other guides that work with us, and there's many different dimensions of reality, and each of those bring wisdom. Each of those bring understanding and awareness. And when you start to open up to that, you open up to that infinite oneness vibration and source energy and source creation, and you open up through your center. And this is done through meditation. This is done through feeling your vibration, feeling what it is to be source energy, the source vibration. For me, source energy is walking as a vibration, walking as a frequency. And the more I do that, the more I then align and unify with source energy, which is the vibration and frequency of all creation, of all beings, of all matter, of all reality. And you can start to feel that you align with that. You align with the planet, you align with other beings, and then you open up your consciousness, you open up your awareness to start to receive that infinite wisdom from the different realities, from source energy, from source vibration, and from oneness consciousness. And oneness consciousness is again a collective consciousness of infinite beings that are working together in union to bring insight and awareness to all realities. And this is where the ascended masters and the great white brotherhood and all these other sort of terms that people use within spiritual sort of conversations, these beings bring collective wisdom, collective knowledge. And when we're in that universal law of oneness and universal law of oneness consciousness, we're open to receive that insight, that awareness. And it's not just for you like individually, it's for you on a collective vision, a collective vibration, a collective consciousness as well. And this is why the universal laws are so infinite and also bring so much wisdom and so much understanding and awareness. And again, when you open up to that, then you open up to inspired action. You can start to become an open channel to receive communication from these infinite beings that are bringing infinite wisdom and consciousness from many different realities to start to connect and align with you, so that you can start to be in a more spiritual reality and a more spiritual awareness. And this is part of what many of the ascended masters used to call was like ascension. Ascension is again connects to the universal law of transmutation and transformation, which is the ability. Ascension to me is the ability to be in different states of being, and that comes through the understanding of vibration and frequency. That when you start to understand your source energy and your seed of creation, you understand that you are a vibration, and that vibration creates reality. So you can shift and change any kind of experience, any kind of event, through changing your vibration, because everything is created, everything starts, everything that is manifested starts as a seed of creation. So you've got the universal law of perpetual transmutation. Compensation, the universal law of compensation is what it connects directly like to cause and effect as well, which is where what you create is what you receive. Again, that's to do with the flow of the universe. What you create and manifest is what you receive. So that's just so if you create many sort of like experiences, or you create vibrations of low frequencies, then really that's what you're going to receive. That's the attraction, and that's the universal law of cause and effect. But also the universal law of compensation teaches us that if we create and manifest a reality of a high vibration that is very sort of like compassionate, is very sort of benevolent to others, then that's what we receive within our vibration. That's what we become attuned to. That's what we become unified with. So we start to realize this. Everything is about balance. Everything is about being in line and in tune with the universal laws. And we keep sort of like moving through that. You've got the universal law of polarity, which is an important one again, because that teaches us um, through the universal law of oneness, vibration, and sort of like frequency and consciousness, that nothing is good or bad. There's just like the universal law of polarity teaches us there's a positive and a negative, and actually through what we create through our vibration and our frequency is what we manifest, and what we attract within our lives. So the universal law of polarity is not negative or positive, it's just teaching us about balance. But it's also teaching us about vibration and frequency, that the more we create, and again with the universe law of compensation, what if you create through compassion, benevolence within your life, then that's what you receive. And again, the universal law of polarity works within that, but they're all working within the universal law of oneness, vibration and frequency. You've got the universal law of relativity. Again, is talking about everything is relative. So what you experience is down to your vibration, your frequency. That's how I see the universal law of relativity. It's about everything is relative to what you're creating. But it also sort of like the universal law of relativity also teaches again about oneness, and I think it teaches us about the understanding that through experience and vibrations, and there's opportunity as well to see what we can shift, change, but it's also how it's sort of relative to what's going on within your reality, within your life, and everything comes down to vibration and frequencies again. The universal law of rhythm is an important one because it talks about cycles. It talks about cycles of growth and expansion within an awareness within our own individual reality, but it also talks about it in a way that it talks about a collective reality. The universal law of rhythm is about cycles of growth and development, but it's also about sort of again sort of like rebirth in that sense. So it's the understanding that within each moment, within each in the universal law of oneness, in this moment, in this time, we can be reborn, or we can transmute something, we can transform something, so we can create a new sort of way of being, a new way of reality. And we can do that individually, but there's also, again, the universal law of rhythm connects to the universal law of oneness and consciousness, because it through inspired action, through receiving that information, that wisdom, we can then start to live in a more collective way that starts to shift and align our own vibration to open up, so become a more channel for source energy. But then we also then start to manifest, create, anchor in energy in a way that works for the planet and the collective, for this reality, because we're living in this reality, so we will receive information and consciousness that directly connects to this reality, because we're here on this plane of existence to shift and change this reality, to bring a new vibration, bring a new frequency, a new consciousness to this reality. That's why we're here, that's why we've come back, that's why we find ourselves here now, to do that for this reality. And that's what each and every one of our purposes is, or why we're here. And this is why this is how the universal laws work. And the universal laws, the universal law of oneness, vibration and frequency, is interconnected to all realities and dimensions, but will work and manifest in a different way depending on what level of consciousness is needed for that reality, of that dimension of reality, for that frequency, for those beings, or whatever consciousness and vibration and frequency that they're trying to create and manifest for that reality. Because everything is trying to bring a universal law of oneness and consciousness is trying to bring back union and harmony for all beings, in all different realities, to bring it back to a one frequency. And this is what the universal laws bring. And that's the insight for today.